Hey everyone, my name is Gunny J. I'm a certified John Maxwell speaker, coach, and trainer. And this is going to be the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I'm excited. This is going to be some value add content that I can deliver to you for no charge. If you sign up below in the remarks section of this video, you can find a link to my constant contact, and what you click that and you sign up, and what it'll do is they'll send the worksheets out for this. If you haven't got the book, I urge you to go get the book. I have an affiliate link down below also, or you can go to your local bookstore. It's up to you. My affiliate link leads to Amazon. My mentor John Maxwell once said that everything rises and falls on leadership. And by the time you're done with this series, you should have a pretty good self-awareness of where your leadership lid is and where it needs to go. So let's get started. All right, here we are. We're at the first law. It's called the law of the lid. The law of the lid simply states that leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. Now, no law is more important than the other laws. But if I can do a good job with this law, you will see how necessary the other laws are to your self-development and your potential. It's a simple law that all the other 20 laws support and they build upon. The key thing to remember is at no time has a person or a business exceeded their leadership potential. You're stuck because that leadership ability is the lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. The lower an individual's ability to lead, the lower the lid is on his potential. The higher the individual's ability to lead, the higher the lid on his potential. So everything rises and falls with that lid. Now that's the bad news. The good news is you can change it, you can learn, you can increase that lid. And if you can increase your lid, you can increase your effectiveness and you can increase your potential. Here's a great example. This is the McDonald brothers. In the 1950s, they developed a management process. Now, as I go through this, it's going to seem like I'm bagging on management. I'm not bagging on management. I just totally believe that management and leadership are two totally different skill sets. Both are important, but both have different effects on your potential. Late 1950s, they developed a management process that took them to almost $250,000 a year. $250,000 a year was a lot of money back in the 50s. Now, that's not the McDonald's we know today. The McDonald brothers actually tried to franchise their hamburger restaurants, I think it was once or twice, and they failed miserably at it. Because the McDonald brothers had very good managerial skill sets, and they could refine the processes up until, the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, until they had about 80% effectiveness. So in walks this milkshake salesman. His name was Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc was a leader. And so what he did is he bought their management process and bought their name and built McDonald's to the point where it is today. As a real estate company, McDonald's probably owns more real estate than the Roman Catholic Church. McDonald's is extremely successful. He took McDonald's because of leadership, where the McDonald's brothers couldn't take it because of the management process. You just get stuck, and being stuck stinks. And it seems like no matter how much you refine, no matter how much you carve off, no matter how many processes you manage, you just can't get anywhere else. The reality is, the higher you want to climb, personally, professionally, individually, the more you need leadership. The greater the impact you want to make, the greater your influence needs to be. Whatever you'll accomplish is restricted by your ability to lead others, your ability to influence. Here's a great diagram. Over here on the left, what we see is success dedication. You can almost label that management. You're going to run up against the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule applies to just about everything in life. It's not exact, but it's a rule. It's a principle. Like 20% of your carpet gets 80% of the wear. In management, you can probably refine about 80% of the processes. The next 20% are extremely difficult to refine. When you start increasing the lid, up here is where we start seeing significant returns on investment in time, energy. So let's go back to our example. Let's say your leadership lid is a 3. If your leadership lid is a 3, your company is, or your life is probably a 2. Sounds harsh, right? At no point in time was somebody's leadership lid a 3, their influence a 3, and their life or their company or whatever turned out to be a 6. It just doesn't happen. That lid is what holds you back. All right. This is that little sheet that I sent you in the first email. And basically it is 21 qualities, and I asked you to have somebody grade you on this on between a scale of 1 to 10. 1 to 10, what's your character? Are your words congruent with your action? You know, charisma, well, sometimes charisma is misunderstood. It's not really a certain personality. Charisma is really the intentionality that people put on other people, to put people first in your life. So if they did this, and if you followed the instructions, if not, why not? If you really want to grow, you got to find out where you're at, because most people, myself included, lack self-awareness. And so sometimes we need this input from other people, honest input, to help us find out where we're at and where we need to go. So as they put on a scale of 1 to 10 these different areas in character, charisma, commitment, communication, competence, courage, discernment, focus, generosity, all these different areas. And if you divided that number by 21, that's approximately where your leadership lid is. This is all subjective because it really depends on how honest everybody was. This one's the exciting part because this is where we can get some real growth in. I want you to go back to those 21 qualities and find where you can make the greatest impact by growing your weaknesses and your strengths. So what I want you to do is I want you to select 2 strengths and 2 weaknesses. You're going to write each one on a 3x5 card and carry 1 card per week. And on that card should be 1 action that you can do to work on that quality. If you do that for 2 months and then select another set of strengths and weaknesses to work on, and if you have patience and perseverance in a year, you'll be at a whole different level. Just keep that 1 card in there just to remind you. The reason I want to remind you is this. The things that you can do to raise your lid, and the first one is value experience with reflection. These cards help your mind reflect on your actions for that day or throughout the day. You can also invest in training just like you're investing your time in this training. Mentorship and coaching, mastermind groups are awesome. I plan maybe 9 months to a year to start a virtual mastermind group, maybe even sooner. Do something beyond yourself, something that stretches your comfort level. Reflect on who's been a lid lifter in your life. You know, what characteristics made them a lid lifter? And of course, the 7th one is make a strength list, but we've already talked about that on the cards. 4 3x5 cards. We're going to look at 1 per week. That means in 2 months, you'll have gone through that card twice. doing that, you'll start to grow. Well, if you haven't, sign up for this lesson. The link will be down below. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you don't have the book, go out and buy the book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. I do have an Amazon affiliate link down below. If you want to go to your local bookstore, go to your local bookstore. And then read ahead so that these lessons are refreshers from what you have already learned. So the next law will be the law of influence. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. And so long.